Yeah, this is Point Black. Coming in hard and off the card. Coming straight off the boulevard. Coming with that hit, with the boom bip, and the line ass lips. Coming with that heat from the motherfucking street. Coming with that flow straight from the motherfucking barrio. You know how we do. We're not playing any games out here. Oh, we see a lot of things going on that needs to be talked about. So this is PBNN, Point Black, National News, the late edition. You know how we do. Take a swing. That's right. That's right. That's right. Now, today we see a lot of things going on. New vaccines coming out. Johnson & Johnson coming out with their version. And as we know, it is still made from a version of understanding of the virus itself. So people have to start to understand what that means, basically, because sometimes when you say certain things, YouTube have a tendency to want to censor your Google. But tonight we're looking at the Johnson & Johnson. Now I see Johnson & Johnson came out with the vaccines. They came out. The question is, how many vaccines do they need? You know what I'm saying? What, you can come out with 15,000 vaccines to cure one virus and a couple of strands? You know what I mean? They need to clear this out. You know what I mean? By now the virus should have, dissipated by now. Don't matter when new strains come out, it should have been to the point dissipated. So we have to look at that based on it. Now there's new strands all over. To me, this must stop. This must stop. We cannot just chase vaccines. Don't make sense. That's not the way you deal with any type of virus, if you ask me. You know. So whatever they're doing, that's their game. Now, switching subjects. I see my man Marty Cantor. You know what I'm saying? He's right. We lost a lot of jobs here on Long Island, and a lot of people are still laying off and not hiring. You know, I guess when summer come around, we'll see what happens to this situation. This should have never happened. You know, businesses should not have been closed down. Because businesses actually lost a step in the game because of this foolishness. You know what I mean? You know, lost a step, close, and so on. Keep closing shit all the time. We've got to get these businesses back on their feet, and that's the key. And we're looking as to back on the job situation. We're going back on this joint with the virus. Now we're looking at as to where the virus really came from. It seems to be closer than we know, but we must investigate. You know what I mean? This one now, to me, is not making any sense. So you take it for what you want. Some names have come to light, as you know. As we look into this situation, some names has come to light as to what's going on. Vaccines popping right off the rack, just like a soda bottle pop machine. You know what I mean? We've got to get past it. We've got to get past this. It looks like, to me, all I see is vaccines. No other course of action. It's like vaccines is everything. No other way. That doesn't make sense. Now I see Cuomo, he up there with Mr. Zuckerman, Mr. Zucker, or whatever his name is, Zucker. He's up there trying to hide the truth, you know what I'm saying, by trying to con, the facts. I notice he's been trying to do that. You cannot con the facts, Mr. Zucker. Facts are facts. Zucker's deep state, if you ask me. Demon Democrat. We see the island. We see the island, and we know Zucker just needs to ask Trump and Zeldin. Maybe he'll have his little plans together. If you know what I mean. You know. Now they are, talking about the long haulers. That's good. It's about time you start mentioning some of these things. Now that's right. You mentioned the long haulers. That's good. 300 travelers for the vaccines. And guy said he wants it to go back to normal, so he's traveling all around to get him a shot. But I got news for him, it'll never go back to normal. So get the dreams out of your mind, And why is it so important to vaccinate the whole of America is the question. To quell a virus, that's not going to do it. And you cannot vaccinate the whole of America based on quelling a virus. That doesn't make sense either. You know what I mean? You can't just do that and expect that that's going to go away. Because what if something else come up and that vaccine is no good? Now we have to vaccinate the whole of America all over again and again and again. So we have to start coming up with better solutions. It seems like if we going in to the future and 20 this and 21 and all this different stuff, and we still lollygagging on a vaccine. Don't make sense to me. We should be way ahead in this technology. We should be way ahead in a whole lot of things. Seems like we're going old fashioned for some reason. I don't understand. You want to vaccinate the whole of America on warp speed. Some things just don't make sense. You know what I mean? Historically, when we look at this situation, the New York State legislature has always checked executive abuse and power. In May 1913, you know what I'm saying? 1913, not too long after Joseph Mann created the Paragon Laws in 1910. Joseph Mann, spelled Mann, Joseph Mann. But, historically, New York State legislature has always checked the executive abuse and power. In May 1913, a joint legislature committee was established. It was established by concerted. It was established by a concerted resolution to investigate governors or governor. One of the governors that it was doing at the time was, I think his name was Sulzer or something, Sulzer, Sulzer, whatever his name is, for patronage. He was patronage or whatever they called it. He was being investigated for patronage. This was called the Farley's Commission. After Senator James Farley, who chaired the committee, the commission scope was to later expand to investigate Solinger campaign finance. The ultimate impeachment of Governor Sulzer, or whatever his name is, Sulzer, was based on the commission's findings. Como created a special Moreland Commission to investigate the corruption in state government, but abruptly disbanded it after the investigation came too close to his administration. So we have seen where Como has pulled a lot of this stunt before. So in other words, it ain't new. What is new though, and what we need to focus on is some of these cats been there too long. You know what I'm saying? So we have to look at the situation. I mean, refusing to turn over documents for months, crucial data at that. Mm, yeah, months trying to hide the data info for real. A full cover up, red tape, if you ask me. Mr. Defano, Stefano, or whatever his name is, Stefano, you know what I'm saying? Mr. Defano, I hate to say people's name wrong, he even said now New Yorkers who have lost family, you know what I'm saying, deserve nothing but the truth. And he is right. We deserve the truth on the situation. Saying the nursing home cover-ups by Cuomo administration is one of the most alarming scandals we've ever seen, which is true, in the government withholding critical information, you know what I'm saying? Now this is what is called criminality at its highest level. At its highest level, outlaws hiding behind the law. You know, there's a call for a hearing that's going on now, which is good. But it's time for people to start taking a hard, long look at what's going on in our government based on what can be played on us. If we're just sitting around waiting for others to say certain things and hope that even in the virus vaccines and so on, so is what they're saying, then it is what they're saying. But you need to do more research into these vaccines as to the makeup of the vaccine to understand what it is you're putting in your system. You cannot just put anything in your system and hope that for some reason it's going to work. Now, if it works, that's good. That's good. Ain't nobody turning nobody down from going to get no vaccine. You can go and get whatever vaccine you want to get. But, you know, people have to start taking a look at that. But we have information as to where it came from, how it was made, and practically where it came, where you know, most of these things are being made, you know. But it's not to contradict anybody from getting a vaccine or what you believe. You can believe what you want to believe. Nobody's here to change your mind as to what you believe. But there are situations that we have to look at that is responsible to the elderly that we must pay attention to, that the elderly deserves their day for certain things. Now, even going back to the days of early times, you know, our people did not choose medicine to do certain things or wickedness. Our medicines was based on coming and bringing the healing to the world. That has since been corrupted, you know, and we have all kinds of different practices that may seem straight, but doesn't mean that it is, you know, doesn't mean that it is. Now, psychologically, a lot of people historically have what I would call a one-way track mind. This is why they don't know that they're on my phone watching me right now. But that's not going to do you any good. What would do you some good though is to wise up. Now, there's a lot of people I believe, and this is my belief, that are into this Luciferian garbage. That's why they're using technology to bug my phone right now and watch me. But I don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? They can watch and do whatever they want to do. And I believe that certain people are working with these people in spiritual, some kind of uh, Luciferian satanic group. But you're not welcome here. You know what I'm saying? You're not welcome here. You know? So just remember that and be warned. If you choose a path that you go down, nothing saying today, nothing saying tomorrow. It could be 2 years. It could be 3 years. It could be a whole lot of years. But it can also be tomorrow. So one have to start looking at one's place as we go. You cannot just choose to do certain things and expect that's the way it is. Now I'm looking over there at South Africa and Africa itself. I'm trying to understand why it is in Africa, with all the natural good herbs and medicines over there, that you have people coming in with all kinds of different vaccines. Now, if Africa has the mindset it's supposed to, it should be making its own vaccines, really. It should be making its own herbal medicines, really. It should not be relying on other people's medicines to bring in these medicines as any kind of savior. That means that Africa is not stepping up its science department based on securing its own people. It seems to be has falling into the hands of foreigners and still the old slave masters that still remain in the land. Now, we cannot allow if Africa is going to grow, we cannot allow that. You know what I'm saying? And the lady that I chose to was in there. I don't know what's her affiliation with these people, but she has a strong, strong backbone in the way she presents herself and speaks. But actions speak louder than words. And it's time for Africa to step up in the science department of their people. You cannot tell me that you have fallen victim, and I'm hoping not, because many have struggled and died to try to bring freedom and liberation at the time when there was none in certain parts of Africa. You I see a situation going on up there in Ethiopia where they're fighting over, it seems like, the Ark of the Covenant, but I don't believe that one bit. You know what I mean? I believe they're fighting over that water. They're fighting over that water, you know, and carrying on. Our lives are being lost. We must clear Africa out from the foolishness and get back on our feet. You know what I'm saying? We cannot sit there playing around and you guessing and choosing because your skin blacker than mine and all this foolishness about this and the third and the fourth, while our people are not scientifically stepping up to save this world in which we live. So it's time for us to make decisions as to what it is we're going to do. A lot of the people here in America have also fall victim, I would say, to a lot of controversies based on their mentality and the way they think. Now, what people got to understand in that situation is psychology is something that can easily be played on anyone, sometimes even based on a lie. So we have to look at that. You see, you cannot just say, you know what I mean? Neither can I. I can't just jump up and say I know. Because to just say that and know that you don't really know is to be the same as to say I believe or I'm guessing. You see? But there has to be a form of research and respect of the understanding of the medical field. That's a huge, huge understanding that the American people is going to have to come to grips with. I don't know no other way to tell you. You're going to have to come to grips with your medical field. Because basic medicine or basic natural understanding of herbs and medicines and, you know, protecting oneself out here in the game is important. But to just sit here and think that you're going to be able to maneuver through certain things, you've got to remember in the long run, you know what I'm saying, whether we hear or not, none of us, and it's just you, it's a liable choice that you're going to be the next sushi on the plate. So people need to start to wake up to their surroundings and what it is they truly believe or what it is they truly know. You know what I mean? You can't depend on others to always tell you, you know, because the others that bring the information or the others that telling you things may have it right, you know, but 95% of those type of people we don't normally see or hear from unless we look them up online or YouTube or whatever. But there's a group and 95% others who are completely there but not there. And there's another group that is there but they involved somehow. And there's another group that pulling tricks over here. So it can be of any category of bureaucracy that is going on. Now we have the left wing and the right wing. The left wing and the right wing shouldn't even exist. No one should be forced into understanding of what America is. If America stands, it stands. It's like white people saying, and the white man marches on. That's good and fine and dandy, but you got to get off of that because nobody's in that. You are what you are, and that's the way it's gonna be. You ain't got to force that on anybody for the force of rule. That's like me saying, you know, and the black man marches on, you know what I'm saying? Black power, brother, word to the mother, black power. You know, that's cool and fine and dandy too. You know what I mean? But at the same time, if we all were starving for a meal, would we still be saying that? If we were falling on the ground and dying for thirst, your belly could make it, your lips chopped up is dry, and we just need a drink of just some kind of water. Hmm. And I walk up as a black man, as a white man, and there's a black man. Both starving for water, dying, dry, crawling on the ground, begging for water all day in the heat of the desert, and I happen to come along. Now, I may have my pro-righteous understanding of black power and black kingship and all this stuff. But the question is, that some need to answer. Which one of them would you give water to first? Hmm? People would say, well, if I'm a white man, I'm going to give it to the white man. And the black man, so if I'm black, I'm going to give it to the black man. But the real answer is this: I would give it to both of them. It's as simple as that. You see? Because while I'm worrying about giving it to the one man, the other man can die. You see? So I would split the water and give it to both of them at the same time. It doesn't matter what color or race they are. It's a matter of fact of saving their lives. Not only that, and also to try to see, you know what I'm saying, the understanding of the unification that we can work together to get out of this desert. So where people sitting up there pointing at their head and shit when people say certain things to try to wise them up, maybe they're tired of hearing it, maybe not. But I'm crazy can come back and bite you in the rear. Mm-hmm. While you're busy saying, I'm crazy. Yeah, not everybody is. Maybe it is you. The jokes is over and we need to serious up. Like I said before, everybody being vaccinated, you know what I mean? I hope that, this thing runs right because we don't need our law enforcement, hospitals, and different places to be, you know, becoming a place of prison or the people falling off to the point they can't help no one, you know? And that goes on all realms. So we have to keep our eye on this situation more better than we do. There's no way that we should sit up here and just think that it is all right to uh, not do anything based on the situation that we, you know, our country must stand on its principles, and we must restore this country to what it is. I notice there's a lot of posturing up and a lot of stuff going on that I've heard of, and so on and so on. But the American people needs to come into focus and wise their asses up while they're busy knocking on walls and listen to my conversation. That is going to do you no good because, like they said, a dog that carries a bone also brings a bone. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't going to do you no good because in the end, you still is going to lose if you do not begin to change your ways. And the only thing you're focusing on is this racial bull. Now, see Biden visiting Texas, that's a good thing. You know what I mean? But the people of Texas also got to learn how to hunker down and hunker in and get their shit together. You cannot just live in a situation out there. We have old people and all kinds of kids and different people out there that I've seen stuff has happened to. Well, no matter what they hit you with, Texas, you got to learn to hunker down and hunker in. So that means it's going to take a hell of a lot of planning ahead to be able to do so. Nobody can sit around anymore and just rely on the fact of chasing vaccines. If you want to chase vaccines and go get vaccinated, ain't nobody standing in your way and nobody you choosing to. That's your decision. You want to believe in the whole shit that's going on? That's your choice. Nobody's stopping you. More power to you. May your ride be merry. But ain't nobody in that. You know what I mean? So I don't see why you two would even consider that anybody's trying to stop anybody from getting vaccines. Apparently, 2.3 million people getting vaccines. Uh, my podcast didn't stop them. So I don't understand why you're taking mine, talking about I'm contradicting the World Health Organization. I wonder if somebody specially around here is doing that, like they're watching me now on my joint right now and think that I don't know. You know what I mean? But more power to you. You know what I mean? So as long as you let my joint ride, I'm good to go. People need to wise up based on the show. You cannot just keep chasing vaccines and hope that this going to situation. The more variants come out, the more vaccines we're going to need. The more vaccines we're going to need, the more it's going to keep going on. So we have to come up with a comprehensive plan as to what this is all about and solution. Like I said, we watching The Island. You know what I'm saying? We watching, The Island, Lee Zeldin and Trumpy Bear on the line. There's some names going out there that is surprising in that vibe. But I'm gonna leave that alone because it's based on certain type of vibe that should not be spoken until concrete evidence is secure, and even then maybe not. But people have to learn what to say and what not to say. They have to learn how to deal with this situation. You know what I'm saying? It's a shame that people are not medically inclined, you know, enough to understand a whole lot of things. But we know that Bill Gates is backing the Johnson and Johnson vaccines, and he said it's pretty good vaccines. Bill Gates said it works very well. These Johnson and Johnson, you only need one dose of this shot. You know what I'm saying? Bill Gates. You know what I'm saying? Bill Gates is backing the Johnson and Johnson vaccines. Saying it's real good. But that's Bill Gates. But we see a lot of things that's going on.